really young defender. What stood out for you when you saw him play? What were his qualities that we should test?
The first one, courage, I would say, because obviously where he's coming from, he has never experienced such a level. He went on tour and he was thrown out there at 16 and playing against Newcastle, Milan. You have to be able to cope, first of all, physically, but mentally. Can I do this? And it's a position, obviously, that exposes you big time. I mean, you don't do what you have to do, and they are through. But he's emotionally a really stable boy. He wants it, and still very, very early in his career, but he's a really good prospect.
How much harder is it when you're a defender at that age? Someone like Max, obviously, we see the talent, he can beat people and create things, but with someone like Marli being that young and the physical changes, it seems like a really difficult task.
It is harder because you said Max can give the ball away in the final third and the consequences are not that drastic. But when you make a mistake or you don't set the line in the right way, the right height, and you can probably lose a duel in the defensive line the way we play with 40 meters behind you, the consequences are huge. And you need to be able to live with that stress, and that's not easy, and he's done it really well.
Do you think if he's needed, given the injuries, he's ready to play at Premier League?
Yes, and he can play as a centre-back or as a full-back. He did it in the Champions League the other day, and I always tell the boys, you are here for a reason, and be ready, because you're not going to be telling in 3 weeks' time, maybe in football is tomorrow or now, and you have to be ready for it.
Ed?
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
You've been here 6 years, and if you don't mind me saying, you barely look a day older, or maybe a couple of days older.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Considering all the stuff that you've been through since you've been here, 3 runners-up positions and coming so close, how do you think that has changed you as a manager in that time, the day you walked through the door?
I think obviously a lot. There's been a lot of changes as well, and the personnel and the people around you at the end. I think the ones that drive and I think probably draw your journey and your emotional state. I've been very lucky to be around some great people. I've learned so much about them, and I think I learned so much about myself as well, how to react, what the priorities are. And then, yeah, at the end, the team and the players are the one who commands what kind of manager they need. I always say the same. So what they needed 6 years ago about me and now is completely different. So the priorities are different. The messaging is different. The way we train, the way we approach, the way that dressing room is dealt with, it is different. And hopefully it's what the players need, which is constantly my obsession is, what can we give to the players to get the best out of them? What we give to the team to get the best out of them consistently? And it's been a joy. I enjoy a lot.
And does it feel, with that evolution that you've had with the team and so many of the players that have been on that journey with you, that really the only thing missing now is to cross the line and win some silverware?
Yes. And we're very close to that with the amount of points and things that we've done consistently. You look at the performances, all the records that we had that they were breaking in the history of the club, you still haven't managed to do that. But that tells you the level that we are in, which is a level that the Premier League has never experienced in the past. And that's what we want, achieve even higher goals. And if we do that, I think we are in the right path to win it.
Simon from The Sun.
Mikel, can I start? So if you've been here 6 years, you've got 18 months on your contract from January. Could you see yourself staying beyond that 18 months?
Yes, but it's about today, and a lot of things have to happen in the next few months as well to earn the right. I think a manager has to earn the right to be here tomorrow, and that's on how you react, how you talk here, how you go in the dressing room, the message that you send, how much the players follow you. I always said that you need support. I said it before, from ownership and the board is great. At the end, the most important one is those players. You open that door, you confront them, you talk to them, and they are like this, or they are like this. And for 6 years, I've seen just players with a level of attention, desire to learn and give the maximum to the team. That is what it gives me in this job, nothing else. And obviously winning a lot of football matches, that percentage-wise, I think is quite high. So that's the only way. If not, you cannot survive in this environment.
Can I just ask you, Thierry Henry was speaking this week, and he was saying how you've got a lot going on, obviously, with injuries, the busy schedule, but he said Arsenal must win the league this season. What do you think of that? Do you agree with that view?
That's fine. We're going to do absolutely the best from each other's capacity to achieve that. That's for sure. I guarantee you that.
Yes, sir.
Mikel, so over the 6 years, you're of course in the setup for a lot of ex-Arsenal players, whether it's the academy, whether it's the first team last like Jack Wilshere, Bernard Saka, into the setup in senior positions. What was the kind of...
Edu as well.
I do have, that one as well. As well as that, what was the kind of drive for that? What impact have you seen?
I love that. At the end, that history of the club, people has lived those experiences, bring something different. It's like an academy player has been here since he was 8. It has something else in them, a special feeling, and that's the power of it. And I will be more than happy to have more players. We have some ex-players. I have some very personal relations, some ex-players that have been part of different teams in the history of the club that are so helpful because they have lived things in a different way. Sometimes they have a different perspective as well from the outside of the things that we do, and that's a big value to us.
Was there anything in particular before you came to Arsenal where you thought, I've seen this and this is why I need to bring in ex-players into a football club, whether it's culture or something else?
Well, I think when you come in, first of all, you have to assess the situation. For example, Freddie was here. Freddie Ljungberg was here with us, and he was part of the coaching staff as well for a period. And he was a very important figure because he knew everything about it. He knew everything about the past, and it was really important at the time. So I think it's very important regarding what at the end the club needs and the player needs, which is the most important thing.
I know, Victor, you just said before in the question that we need to understand it. By that, what do you mean? What are the aspects that you need to understand about Victor and the striker?
And the way he thinks, the way he interacts with people, the timing of his run and his movements. And again, I said it has to be both ways. Always, when there is a relationship, it has to be understanding, and there are certain signals and certain chemistries that we have to build. But I quite like what I see in the last few games, and he was very unlucky not to get with that ball in front of the keeper without any defenders 3 or 4 times.
And finally into Gary from Times.
You come to this sort of gap, you were saying about your relationship with players, and then Simon was asking you about sort of contract. So now you're sort of talking to players about their futures, and would you say to Declan or Bukayo, yeah, I'm going to be here for the run? But is this a question they will ask you when you're sitting down with them out there?
Yeah, they do ask me, but I cannot lie to them. I don't know. It's something that doesn't depend on me. Are you really happy here? Do you feel that you have the energy and you feel that you can take this club where? Yes, 100% yes, but at the end it doesn't depend only on me, and they have to make a decision that is based as well on what they feel about it. And again, that's another sign. When you sit with a player and he's talking to you in those terms and they really want to stay, they don't want to even listen to another options, that's a good sign, because that means that the club looks after them in the right way, and they believe that this is the right club for them to achieve the goals that they want in their life.
When Olsen was here, he had sort of project. He had the project of moving to the new stadium, and then he had to survive in the new stadium with limited money and try to build a team. You're in a sort of slight different. So what would be your projects that you think are going to be going forward in the future? You think, where you need to build the club? Well,
there is a lot of talk, obviously, in the next 2-3 years in terms of infrastructure, things that can happen. But my focus, because this is dealt in a great way at the club, my focus is performances and what we need to do to win big trophies, and that's the end.
Okay, guys, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Right, so let's take a moment just to wait.